We have an insane week this week with the stock market, and I want to show you guys some option plays that can make you a bunch of money. So without further ado, let's get into it. With that being said, I would do recommend adjusting to how the market moves. So we're going to be showing you guys both calls and puts. So keep that on your mind. So yeah, but first off, I want to start off with SPY. With that being said, I do recommend going a couple days in advance. So depending on what day it is, I recommend like maybe 4 or 5 days in the strike price. So we're gonna be looking at 5 days. This is on Sunday. But with that being said, it's probably gonna be a little bit more expensive right now, but it's gonna go down as time progresses. With that being said, we got to see how. I really want to be patient and see how earnings really moves before you get into these. Because if you see like Microsoft and Meta both moving to the upside, SPY can move to the upside, and also Tesla earnings can also move this too. So keep that on your mind for SPY. With that being said, to the upside, I do recommend looking at a strike price of like 605 for some calls to 606, but that's the max that I'll do. You could probably do, if you want to be safer, 603, 602 call prices. And then for the put prices, I recommend 603, 602, and then maybe even 600 to 599 if we do go to the downside with these earnings. So keep that on your mind for SPY. Next one I want to talk about is Tesla. Depending on how earnings go, we're going to look at it maybe in like a 2-week time frame, because I think their earnings is Wednesday, I think. So with that being said, maybe a 2-weeker, but we're gonna look at a 1-weeker just for this one. But just adjust as you go. You can do it next week too, or for 2 weeks too. But with that being said, to the downside, we are looking pretty decent with Tesla. But if we do go to the downside, I think we can hit 395. So with that being said, I wouldn't do that directly as a strike price. I do probably 400. I probably do 400 to the 405 level for a put option, and for a call option going to the upside, I do recommend doing 425 to 430, but I do recommend doing the 415 to the 410 to be safe. So keep that on your mind. I do not recommend doing this before earnings. I really want to see how earnings go, because it can fall even more if you do get call options, and it can go up if you do put options. It's just unsafe, and you're just going to be losing money. It is just more safer just to wait until after the big news comes out. So keep that on your mind. Next one I want to look at is Microsoft, because we got earnings for Microsoft. So with that being said, I do recommend looking at Microsoft is a pretty strong one. We're at 444 right now after market close. So if you can keep going up, I do want to look at that 450 level. So that being said, I'll look at a 450 level strike price. Sorry, I'm not on both. A 450 level, and then maybe even 455 if you want to save a little bit of money, but I do not recommend that. I think 450 is the max that I'd go for this one. And if you want to be safer, you can get a 440 to a 445 call. And then for the put option, I do think that we could maybe even see 440. So I think 440 might be the safest one. 440, maybe even 435 if you want to save some bread. But with that being said, I do the 440, maybe 442.5, and maybe 445, which is going to be more money, but it's going to make you more money in the long run, you know? So you're not really risking anything. Next one I really want to look at is Apple, because with the earnings coming up, I think Apple can either go down a bunch or even go up a bunch. With that being said, I think if we get some good earnings and some good news with Apple, we can probably see it at 230. And then if we don't get good earnings, I think we can see it down at the 218, maybe even 215, just breaking down, breaking some new levels, and keep on going to that bearish side that we've been seeing for the past couple of weeks. With that being said, to the upside, I'll look at that 225 to that 230 call price. With that being said, you don't want to be directly on it, but I think we can maybe even break past that 230 maybe next week. So if you get a 2-weeker, 230 isn't really that bad. But I do recommend looking at that 225 just to be safe, and maybe even that 220 just to be even safer. It's only $600 if you really think about it. Like right now, it might even go down even more, but yeah, 220 is pretty decent. With that being said, to the downside, I do recommend looking at that 220 put option, maybe even 217. But if you want to be safe, 222.5 or 225. So keep that on your mind. But these are the options that I'm looking at that might move the most next week. There's going to be some other stocks too, but I really wanted to just base it off earnings, because you can really see the flow that it can go to. So yeah, thanks for watching the video. Smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.